Hey everyone, it's Spaceboy here. Today we're going to be playing a game called Winter. I don't know anything about this game. I found it on itch.io. Um, I don't even remember looking at screenshots. I'm sure I did, but I really don't know anything about this game. I love the art style of this right here so far. Content warnings. Sex discussion, anxiety slash trauma, skull imagery. Okay. Well, if y'all are sensitive to any of that stuff, I suggest not watching this. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Act 1. Two years, 4 months, maybe a few days, over 100 miles. Why is she here? Oh, okay, it moves. Why is she at this party? Why is she at this party? I didn't move here just to avoid her. But, well, it was a contributing factor. I didn't expect to see her. I didn't expect to see her here tonight. I'm I'm not prepared. Run away or say hi. Okay, let's say hi. There are enough people between me and her that I can get a bit closer without feeling obvious. She's standing by the window, dancing in a low energy way. I have no idea what I can say to her. Remember me? Sorry about before. I really liked you. Please talk to me. Remember me. Hey, remember me? Sorry I made you scared of me. I miss you. Perhaps perhaps I would be better off just throwing myself to the floor. God, she's smiling. Maybe she doesn't even remember me. Just chalks me up as another weirdo who wanted to fuck her. Oh, a scroll. Okay. Oh God. Oh God, she looks happy. She's touching her waist and saying something. And I'm just standing here thinking about whether I'm a creep. Maybe if I was still a guy, then it would have been fine. You expect that kind of shit from a guy, right? She's touching him back. I feel sick. I can't watch this. I feel sick. I feel sick. I can't watch this. I'm out of here. Hey. That's weird. Someone is talking to me. I turn and I look at her. I think her is right anyway. There's no face for me to tell. Not that it's necessarily reliable. I just sense an energy. An energy despite the matte off-white bone that stares back at me. Deep dark eye sockets and a pallid skull. Maybe my drugs have started fucking me up again. I shouldn't have drunk. Wanna get out of here? Do I know you? I'm leaving on my own. I don't trust that. I'm leaving on my own. Are you sure? She's staring across my shoulder. I can feel her gaze on my shadow like 2 points of pressure. No. I'm leaving. I'm gonna be persistent. She falters and takes a step closer. Wait. I mean, girls like us should stick together, you know? I don't want to stick together. I don't want to talk. I want to go home and I feel sorry for myself. I want to go home and feel sorry for myself. I have no idea what you mean. It takes one to know one. You pass very well for someone functional and right. If you hadn't nearly started crying when looking at that girl, I wouldn't have even known. I love your boots, by the way. Fuck you. You don't know anything about me. Don't know anything about me. No? I don't answer. After a moment, she clears her throat. Never mind. I have wine. A whole bottle, see? She holds it up conspiratorially. Somehow I get the impression of her winking. Why should I go anywhere with you? Where did you get that? Or take the wine? Why should I go anywhere with you? She sighs and looks over her shoulder. This party sucks, and you look like you want to cry. Let's get pissed and vent together. Fine. Let's just fuck off already. I don't want to cry when everyone can see me. Her jaw opens slightly in a horrible impression of a grin without skin. I know just the place. Then we're on a bench, in a quiet section of the park I didn't even know existed. She opens the bottle of wine with practice, chucking the cork over her shoulder, and takes a swig. When she hands it to me, there's somehow lipstick on the rim. I drink. It's not very good wine. I take another swig. So what's your name, girl with two shadows? I hand the bottle back to her. Meredith. I brace for a laugh, but it doesn't come. She cocks her head to the side and makes a noise. Nice name. Cute. Old-fashioned. Bit of a mouthful to say every time, though. Mary. Maybe. She takes a swig of wine and pulls a face. No, Mary doesn't suit you. I'm gonna call you Red. You're not. She looks at me, some sparkle visible in her eye sockets. I think I'm getting used to her lack of a face. Almost. Whatever you say, Red. Why were you about to cry back there? I think I haven't hit her just because of the sheer affront of her questions. Why should I spill my guts to some random faceless girl in the park? I still don't even know your name. She waggles the bottle of wine at me teasingly. Give me that. She lets it go without protest, and I raise it to my lips. You said I don't know you, Red, and maybe you're right. But I can guess. There's something about yourself you can't live with. Some part you think abhorrent, to be hidden away from sight. Only, hiding it inside wasn't enough. You could feel it in there still, burning away like a hot coal. Some hot black little lump inside you like a smoldering heart. You hated it so much that one day you wrenched the fucker free from yourself. And ever since then, you've told yourself you feel better. But you don't really believe that, do you? It's not a good absence. It's like excising a tumor. It's something more vital. You cut out your heart, and now it beats at the door of your soul. She stops talking as I stare, dumbfounded, a bottle of wine still raised halfway to my lips. Rummaging in her coat pocket, she pulls out a pack of cigarettes and lights one casually, clamping it somehow between her teeth. That's how I feel anyway. And my name's Winter. So now we're uneven. You gotta tell me about yourself now. Fag? Oh, okay, so they're in the UK. Something like that. No, I don't smoke. No, I don't smoke. Good girl. Smart. Your loss. Might as well just talk then. I take another swig of the bad wine whilst I try to process what she said to me. I feel like she's told me some secret, sticky part of herself. But, like she's told me nothing at all, too. The girl in the party was not really an ex. I black out as the shadow talks through me, giving its own monologue. When I snap back, Red is finishing her cigarette, and I mumbled the last few words. And, haven't talked since. Now she's happily dancing with some guy, and I'm gonna drink more wine. I take another swig of the wine. It's still awful. I hand her the bottle and bring my knees up to my chest, heels resting on the edge of the bench. So where does the shadow come in? I fully expected to cry, but what Winter's constant pushiness isn't leaving time. I'm angry that she keeps asking and spiteful enough to tell her. I wonder if she'll call me a 2. What is it that you're afraid of, Red? Attraction, lust, myself. That's pretty deep. What is that? Let's go with myself. I'm scared of what I wanted to do to her. Still want to do. And not just her, but others. Girls I knew before or see who I maybe once. Girls I knew before or who I see maybe once and just think about idly. Girls aren't meant to have these thoughts, are we? Especially when we're trans. We're meant to leave that behind and just be nice and receptive, inoffensive, and unproblematic. But I think about how I want to touch or fuck or hurt. I think about how I want to touch or hurt or fuck her, and I can't do it. I can't do it, but I want to. I feel like I'm trespassing, unwanted and imposing, but I can't stop wanting to. And what used to be just some awful black part of my heart has just grown and grown until it was always there, looking over my shoulder. I'm scared. I'm scared of the part of me that follows. I rest my head on my knees and try to keep myself very, very still. I've said too much, or I've been too much. I've been too much. The urge inside is to either stop moving forever, or else to flail and throw myself into the duck pond. Before I can commit to running away, Winter takes a deep breath and nods. That's wild. I look over my knees at Winter's expression. She looks pleased. That's wild? Say nothing. I mean, we're almost exact opposites, you and I. You're scared of being attracted to someone and everything that entails, and it's being attracted to people that I can't stand. I don't know how to make myself feel vulnerable or to tolerate someone's eyes on me. What's the phrase? Mortifying ordeal of being known? I want to, but there's armor I can't take off. Baggage that I can't put down. I look at her as she talks, her body language shrinking in the casual arrogance from earlier falling off like melting snow. She cradles the wine in her hands, bottle nearly empty, and laughs. You know what we have to do, Red? What? And why we? We should help each other. We're complementary. You have a hang-up about attraction to people, and I don't. I can show you, teach you, and you can show me what it looks like to be comfortable in your own skin, comfortable being looked at. I uncurl my legs and look at her, processing what she says. You're not suggesting we date after talking for 15 minutes. Not dating, just helping each other. I have someone I like already, and I want to be attractive for him. You have someone you like, right? The girl from earlier? As if that was ever a relationship that could happen again. Could or should happen again. I've burned that bridge and I've known that for a long time, but I want to reconcile this part of myself. Something about Winter's intensity makes me trust her. Makes me want to trust her. So I say it. How do we do it? Excuse me. Winter leans down to put the bottle of wine on the ground, out of the way. She then reaches out to me. No, she reaches out to my shadow. I can almost feel when her fingers touch my other self's cheek, like a memory of being touched, or a whisper of a breeze. Can I kiss you? Kiss her first. A thought flashes through my mind, of climbing on top of her and pinning her to the bench. I could never. Would never. I know I'm not meant to feel these things. And then the shadow takes over again, and I black out. Act 2. What do you mean you don't cook? Winter shrugs and pours herself another glass of wine, cigarette between her teeth. I just don't. If I eat proper food, I buy it. I like restaurant food. I look at her dumbfounded. She must be spending as much on takeout as I do on rent. How the hell do you afford it? We aren't all broke PhD students, Red. I'm not that much of a stereotype. I only spend a day a week on studies. The rest is programming. You should take it up, honestly. Pays great. Really? Sure. Flexible hours, work from home. It's a good gig. I can teach you the basics sometime if you want. Or maybe that's getting too personal. She slowly waves a finger at me to tell me off. Besides, you didn't come to criticize my cooking, did you? No. Tell me what you're doing this time. She takes a seat in the depths of her sofa and sips her wine, watching me. There's this girl. I tell her about Lily. I tell her about the girl in my lecture who sat next to me twice now and asked me out for coffee once. We haven't gone yet. It's tomorrow. What do you want to do with her? As I talk, We start our little dance again. I can't remember how many times it's been now, 6, 7 maybe. The memories of each visit are so hard to pin down, just wisps of half-remembered touch. Winter lets me talk, and as I do, she performs whatever I say on my shadow. The fuzzy half feeling of it rippling through me, as if muffled through cloth. She never seems self-conscious as I tell her things to do, never questions them. But I never let myself look at her for too long. Gradually, my shadow seems to change. It still looks like me in silhouette, but it's like there's another person layered over it. I have the horrible feeling it's Lily. Part of me feels guilt for this play I could perform, all mixed up with the guilt I feel for having any feelings in the first place. I thought maybe it would start to go away after we did this a few times, but it's barely made a dent. Instead, it just feels like I've made Winter culpable for my desires too, which feels... Winter senses something is wrong and turns her attention to from my shadow to me. Do you want to stop? For a moment, it's difficult to talk with her fingers in my mouth. But then the fog clears and I remember she's still only touching my shadow. Yes. Winter draws back, kneeling in front of the bed. Kayfabe has been broken now, and I see the three of us as if from above. My shadow and Winter backing away from each other like guilty teens caught in a cupboard, and I watch myself watching the two of them barely a foot away. The clothes Winter picked out for me barely register until I realize I'm cold. I've been cold for some time, and I've never noticed. You don't seem as into it today. I'm sorry. I don't know about all this. She looks at me for a moment, then starts hunting around for a hoodie. You don't think it's working? I honestly can't answer. It's difficult to even know what to think. Everything feels like muddy water. I curl my knees up to my chest and sit like that for a minute on the bed. The underwear Winter gave me to wear digs in on the sides, making it harder to breathe. Do you really feel like it's helping you at all? She turns to look back at me unsure for a moment. Am I getting anything out of this? Does watching you be comfortable with feeling attractive help me? I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel anything about it either way, but I don't say it. Winter's eyes are hollow as she looks at me. They don't burn. It's difficult to tell. Knowing someone else can do what I can't isn't having the revelatory effect I thought it might. I laugh into my knees and let myself unfurl again, lying down and looking at the ceiling. Winter sits on the bed again. When I watch you fuck my shadow, it feels like there's some quality that you and I don't. Like someone gave you permission to feel these things, and that it makes it alright. I hear her take a sip of water and sigh. I suppose you gave me permission. Maybe that's all it is. I'm glad you can feel that. Taking a drink, sorry guys. Excuse me. I mean, it's more like one partner gives permission to the other so they can feel vulnerable. She looks away. Is there a difference? Yeah, Red. That's not the same as being vulnerable. It's not the same as feeling safe being vulnerable. If you don't get to feel that, if you don't both get that, then you have something deeply unbalanced. One person bearing their soft little heart, and the other stepping on it like a snail on wet pavement. I pull a face, she grins back. She can't help it. Are you scared of that? She doesn't reply straight away. I can hear the clock ticking as we sit on her bed in silence. I mean, you have to face your fears, don't you? So I hear. She stands up and turns to face me. I've got a date. raise my eyebrows in surprise. You didn't say anything. She shrugs. It doesn't come across as nonchalant so much as evasive. That's what all this has been for, right? I guess it must be working. You let me see how it feels to be comfortable in your own skin, and I put it into practice. Is it the guy you mentioned before? She nods and holds my gaze defiantly, as if she's waiting for some criticism. I don't have anything to say. But just for a moment, I can feel it, as sharp as ice. I feel angry and bitter and broken that Winter's found more in our hookups than I have. That she's going to outpace me and leave me on my own. That isn't a respite for me. It's not healing me, it's not helping, I feel cold wrap around my hands as my shadow comes in closer to hug me, embrace me. Winter's eyes widen very slightly. And I realized just what I could do to her. In a moment, a sentence or two, I could crush whatever tiny ember of confidence she's trying to keep alive. Tell her that everything she's begged me for will never work, as if she could really learn to be comfortable with me, learn to love herself from me, when I can't even keep myself all together. But I know the urge is terrible. It's a monstrous thought that's gone as quickly as it came. I'm not angry at her, really, it's just me. So I find the words. Good for you. I will be right back. I gotta go check on my son, but we will continue this in just a second. Alright, let's continue this. Act 3. My phone drags me out of a stupor as it rings. Stupor? Stupor? I don't know. Sorry, hold on a sec. Turn this down just a little bit. Okay. My phone drags me out of a stupor as it rings. It's nearly midnight, and my tea has gone cold, forgotten as I drift off. God, I don't want to talk to her. Not tonight. But it's nearly midnight, and Winter's calling me. I answer the phone. Hello? The sound on the other end of the line is crying. Winter, are you okay? There's a pause, and she lets out a shaking breath. No. Can I come over? Winter huddles at the end of my bed, her legs drawn up to her chest. They like knees to the chest in this game, don't they? I place a glass next to her and join her on the bed. Near, but not close. Sorry, it's this. All I've got is cheap vodka. Winter necks it in one, and her shoulders hunch as she makes a face. Then she stares down at the empty glass in her hands and talks. So I listen. These are all skulls. I think that's trippy. Went to see the boy finally, like I said. We had food and some drinks, and he seemed nice, interested, you know? He listened to me. Felt really good to get that attention, and I like him. Liked him. I don't know. What happened? Winter swallows. We went back to my flat, and we started to make out. Felt so good at first to be desired. I felt confident. He was so complimentary. And I thought it meant I was attractive. Thought I could live with it, if that's how it felt. Go on. But it felt wrong, gradually. Like he was no longer seeing the person, he was no longer seeing the person I'd been earlier, talking and flirting and being human, you know? It felt like he was just looking at me and seeing a trans girl, an archetype. No, that's too kind of a word. A cut of meat that he liked. I wondered if he'd ever even seen me as anything different. Did he hurt you? No, nothing like that. But I thought maybe that I had to just endure it. That this is just how it feels, right? I hated it. More and more as it went on. I couldn't tear myself away. In case I stopped just before it suddenly started to feel right. But it never felt right. It never did. And when he finally finished, he couldn't even look at me. He didn't even look at me the same, even when he left. Like there was a distance, or like it was an act. I reach out and touch her shoulder. Winter flinches a little, but doesn't push my hand away. You deserve better, Winter. Winter. You deserve better, Winter. She sniffs and looks at my face for a moment. I can still feel his hands on me, like a drop of dye in the water. She grabs my hand suddenly. Can you drown him out for me, Meredith? What do you mean? She pulls me towards her by the arm. Her grip is soft. Her grip is soft and bitterly cold, but it's comforting too. And when my hand reaches her skin, have I actually ever touched her like this? Have I ever actually touched her like this? I can feel my shadow stir next to me, remembering. If I have to keep feeling someone's hands on me, I won't mind if it's you, Red. You... I don't want to believe you see me the same way he did. I don't. Help me forget them, please. I'll tell you what to do, what he did. Just like the other times, like I did for you. My shadow guides my hand to her neck, and I don't fight it. Winter twitches as my fingertips brush her skin, willing herself to stay still. He started with my blouse. Winter's hands join my own, working with mine to shrug off her blouse. Her skin is so smooth. Out of the corner of my eye, I see her look at my face, watching me, waiting. You're pretty. You've never shown me before. Red. I let my fingers drop to her stomach, tracing them along her side. Where I touch her, Winter instinctively moves away as if I've been pushed. As if I've pushed. She makes a little squashed noise and closes her eyes. It feels strange to lead this dance. My shadow wraps itself around me, its hands on the back of my own. I can feel its heart beating through me. I think about how Winter did this before, to my shadow. To my shadow. To my shadow. I wonder if that's how she wants me to act, or tell me what to do. She takes a deep breath, recounting. He had rough hands. They never stayed in one place long enough to get used to. Nothing like Winter's. Is there somewhere you want me to touch you? Winter hesitates. Without saying anything, she takes my hand between both of hers and guides it to her neck. I rub my thumb along the line where skin turns to bone. Her breath catches as my finger traces up her jaw and comes to rest on her cheekbone. You're warm. You know how your shadow felt? Like a real person. Soft to the touch. She raises her own hand to touch my face in return, her thin fingers mirroring mine on her cheek. She then shifts her hand, to my shadow instead, watching over my shoulder, and touches its cheek. I feel the fuzzy impression of it again, like static. It feels nice. Do you really think it's part of us? Or is your shadow on my face just some kind of delusion? Winter tugs the shadow by the collar, and I fall forward with it, pinning her to the bed. She takes my hand and hesitantly guides it back to her neck. I oblige. And she covers her eyes with the back of a hand. I never knew. Sorry, I can't talk today. I never know if people can't see my skull, or if they just don't care. Would it be so bad if they couldn't? She peeks through her fingers at me. I've never seen her so fragile. I'm scared of someone being attracted to just part of me. To that part of me. Like I might ruin myself for revealing that I'm human too. And it's just too much for me to bear. And it's too much to bear for the both of us. You're not ruining yourself. I wish it was so easy as believing you. Show me then. Prove it. She moves her hand away and I meet her gaze. It feels like I'm falling. A bird losing its feathers as it tumbles through the sky. Winter wants the dark part of me and I want hers. If it's a delusion, my shadow and your skull, then it's one that's real to both of us. She grabs my hand gently again and guides it higher to her eye socket. If it's a delusion, what did you say just now? Would that be so bad? Act 4. I have a feeling that, excuse me, we're actually gonna form a relationship with Winter. Although from the very limited information that I've gotten, our character is obviously trans, but they're still attracted to women. Winter, I think, is also trans, if I understood her right, and she's attracted to men. But I think that we will be forming a relationship. Sorry, I thought I heard my son. I think we'll be forming a relationship with Winter by the end of this game. I can hear Winter's breathing next to me, and I realize I'm awake. I open my eyes, and the two of us are in my bed still. She's asleep, facing away from me, slightly curled up. As I start to rise, I realize I can see her face. I realize I can see her face. Everything feels at peace. I sit there quietly for a few minutes, watching her sleep. It's just the two of us. For the first time, I can't feel my shadow behind me, watching. It's as if I've carried a backpack for so long I forgot, and then finally took it off. It feels light. When I eventually get up, Winter doesn't stir. But as the kettle boils, I hear, "Red?" I call back and return with 2 mugs of coffee. Winter is sitting, rubbing her eye sockets, her skull once again staring back at me. She's smiling. I don't say anything. Where her blouse has fallen open, I can see the bruises on her neck, and my stomach twists a little. Satisfaction against guilt. When I pass her the mug of coffee, my shadow is right back again, cradling my arm like a splint. But it doesn't feel heavy anymore. Winter. That was it. Okay. Winter, a game by Freya Campbell and Elliot Harriman. Alright. I will leave the link in the description if you want to give it a go and see if maybe there's a different ending. I'm not going to play it again though. Yeah, I really liked it. I really liked it. So again, link will be in the description below. And if you like this video, then like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have fun and stay safe.